God, we're gonna discuss every news item before we even start the fucking podcast. Montrell, goddamn. All right, well, we're in it now. Fuck it, you started the recording, so let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's just go in. I mean,
Good.
how are you doing, man?
This is the icebreaker.
This is the icebreaker.
I'm actually gonna flip it. How are you doing? You've been kind of MIA in the chat.
Yeah.
You've been doing your own thing the last couple. Everything okay, man? You all right?
I'm gonna be frank. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm kind of down. I'm kind of down bad right now. Like,
Is
just-
it like
work,
it's like
man.
home
I'm
issues
just
or
fucking-
work?
Nah,
Okay.
it's fucking work, bro. I'm so sick of my job right now. Like, this is like, it's just the company I work for. You work for them too.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
it's that
During this
compounded-
season, it's hard. Yeah.
It's that compounded with the fact that I am a manager now, like, and I have to fucking care about fucking everything, like, and I just don't. Like, I don't care about most of the things that are brought to my attention, and I just like, and other people treat these things like literally someone's gonna fucking die if it doesn't get taken care of, and it's literally like pathetic, like how like desperate people are to get this shit, like get shit fixed that doesn't fucking matter, like. And
Yeah.
I just like, I cannot bring myself to care, and it's just getting on my nerves. This whole week has just been a fucking like procession of people coming to me and asking me to prioritize things that, frankly, like most of it, 90% of these things are not important.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm just over it right now. I'm just like, I'm fucking so annoyed with my job. So yeah, I mean, that honestly, I've been not coming into Discord much. But that, I don't know. I just needed some days to chill.
I get it.
We were waiting for the new Apex season, and then you weren't getting on because it's like Sonic God of War week. It's like I'm kind of in the same boat, and I'm just, it's like, I mean, dude, we've been going hard in the Discord for like a year and a half now. Like, honestly, no, for real, dude. Like, I would say I'm getting on the Discord more than 50% of the week. Like,
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
like, me specifically, I definitely am. I think me and Jet, like, probably the highest, and maybe Brad too. So I just kind of like, I just needed a little bit of some me time. Like I said, work's been rough. I just needed to chill and relax, not get stressed out because work stressed me out so much. Apex stresses me the fuck out. I don't need that. So, and when I'm playing single player stuff, I don't really like to be in the Discord because it's hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
While I'm talking to you guys. So, I'm trying to focus on the story and absorbing all that. So that's kind of where I'm at. But it's okay. I got a vacation coming in Thanksgiving week, and I'm fucking desperate to get there. So I need a week off, dude. Like, my job is running me ragged. But how are you, man? How's life treating you?
Oh, I'm all right. We took these cool, or we didn't take them. Well, Deanna took these cool pictures. I'm gonna send them to you because I wanted to see your reaction live. So she took these cool pictures, and we got them framed.
Yeah.
And people don't really do that nowadays, so I thought it was pretty funny. So we got other pictures, but I'm just gonna send these two to you.
Okay.
My phone would work.
Are you sending them in text?
Yeah, they should be coming up like right now.
Okay.
And we got them framed, so we're gonna hang them up in the room. And internet, like Wi-Fi is turned off. Besides that, I mean, everything's been pretty cool. I've been excited for these games to come out. So,
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. You got framed pictures of the kitties, man. We should do that for Miss Kitty, man. I have so many pictures of Miss Kitty on my phone. Like, it is silly, dude. Like, if you went through my phone, like a third of the pictures on my phone are probably my cat. Like, straight up. Like, I don't know. I adore her. Like, she is. She makes my life so much better. So, but no, I dig it. That's great. Are you gonna put them next to each other or different?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take some pictures. I got my pictures of like Silas and Deli and Koofy hats, and I'm gonna put them in my room and frame them, put them in my room, and then I
Yeah.
didn't get them framed yet, but I am gonna do that because
Yeah.
Deanna didn't want to frame them. She thought it was stupid, but I liked them. I thought they were really funny. The
Hmm.
meme was funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Besides that, though, I'm just glad when we get to the game section, I'm glad these games are out that I'm playing. My like depression, my gamer depression, I call it, because it's two different depressions, which actually affects me sometimes. It's
Hmm.
kind of over right now.
Yeah.
I kind of do feel overwhelmed because I'm trying to like play both the games at the same time.
Yeah.
But
Oof.
uh,
Oof,
it's a good overwhelming to feel
yeah.
in the strong in the sense. So I'm looking forward to that. But as far as like work and everything, it's like the opposite end because I know the work you do, or we do the same field of work, but in different fields. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense to y'all, the
Yeah.
listeners. So I know your field of where you work at, it's like really busy at this time, and then for me, it's like the total opposite. So
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now, work is like super down.
I'll say
Uh,
this: I don't have a down period at my job. Like, it's not really like right now specifically is not busier than any other time necessarily. It's like
okay,
in a vacuum, but it feels busier right now than it has. Like the last month at my job has been super busy, like insane. Like I
yeah,
haven't been able to take a breath basically at work for like a month, and uh, but our peak period is like January to like April, so
hmm
we're leading into that. I will say December is pretty slow for us, so
okay,
kind of looking forward to that. Honestly, I'm hoping a lot of people just take all their fucking PTO and no one's around and fuck off,
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, for us, it's like we got the job sites that are out there doing their thing right now, and people are trying to establish more job sites, but like I got like maybe two smaller jobs with like two people, getting deployed or whatever. Which I don't know why they're getting deployed during the holiday season, but they are. They're about to get deployed, and then everything else is not getting deployed until January, like the big jobs.
yeah.
So when January hits, then I'll be like super busy and probably stressed the fuck out. But like right now, I'm enjoying the ride before that comes.
Hmm.
So as far as that, like everything's been actually okay. So I mean, I got to go to Missouri in a couple weeks, which I'm not really looking forward to. But
Is that for work or pleasure?
no, no, for family. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm not really looking forward to it. I mean, I gotta show the ring off and everything. So uh, I don't like being me. I just don't like being around a lot of people. So
Yeah.
like
Well, being the
I
center of
just
attention, yeah, definitely.
yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
just don't like being the center of attention. Like I can be on the side end, but I don't like being the center. So uh that's gonna be a thing, a job for me. But besides that, like I'm just enjoying it and everything.
Hmm. All right. Well. Okay, everybody. Well, it's been 8 minutes, so hi everyone. Welcome to the Player's Take. This is episode 195. I'm Justin DeSimone, and Montrell Rice is my co-host. Um, Montrell, I actually have an icebreaker written down, so let's get into that before we get into the
Yes,
rigmarole
sir.
and the whole rest of the show. So, I mean, I don't. Did we talk about Twitter last week? I feel like we did. What
No, because
Elon, or we did that
we
after the
we touched.
show?
Yeah, we talked about it after, but we
Okay.
didn't touch on the show. And then all this didn't happen until like literally like
Exactly.
this
There's been
week.
some
Yeah,
developments this week. So yes, Elon
yeah.
Musk, obviously is taking over Twitter. He bought it, tried to get out of the buy, and then he got forced to buying it. I don't, whatever. But he has come in like a bull in a china shop, and he's just firing everybody, fucking blowing it all up. But the big thing that's happened this week is the blue. I've got it written as the blue checkmark apocalypse, where he
If we
has
were popular, that would be on YouTube right now. Like
yeah,
that would be a thing.
he basically, the blue check mark on Twitter means you're verified. Like you are officially verified. The account that you are posting as is you, and it is, like that is a legit account. So it had a purpose. But Elon's come in and blown the whole thing up. So you can now buy a blue check mark currently, right now, this second, for $8 a month. And have it on
Hmm.
your account, and you will be verified. And this obviously, kicked up a hornet's nest when it was announced, but now that it has happened already, and it is fucking chaos because people were supposed to have, I think, 3 or 6 months to decide, and their check marks are just gone. Like he just like took that, like whatever they decided, they just fucking said fuck it and took away the check marks. So um people were supposed to have like a gray check mark, I think, if they didn't pay for it, and then if they didn't pay after 6 months, it would just go away and they wouldn't have a check mark anymore. But yeah, most people they just lost the check mark and they had to rebuy it. They either had to rebuy it or they don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
So so how do you feel about this, man? Like, I'll let you go first on this one.
So I was under the impression I didn't think he was actually going to do that. To be honest with you,
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to go through with
I
it,
knew
but
he
he
was
did.
gonna. Yeah, no, he's. I think he's. I don't know. Well, yeah, keep going.
So like, I was like kind of indifferent towards it, but like now I'm like totally against it, right? So I was like kind of indifferent and kind of for it because I thought the whole verification system was kind of like
It was like a high school clique.
yeah, it was kind of like I don't want to say classes, but it was I
It was
don't know,
clicky. It
like
was very.
yeah,
It was
yeah, it
like a
was
cool
very
club.
clicky. Yeah, and it was like, oh, if you're verified, then you can just say whatever the fuck you want to say, and people can't, and they can ignore you or berate you or whatever the fuck, like,
And whether
and
you
that's
were
what it.
verified or not felt very arbitrary. It was like if Twitter didn't like you weren't going to get verified.
Yeah, yeah. There wasn't a clear cut process on how to get verified. It
Right.
was like if you were very renowned in some kind of space or something like that, or whatever the case may be. But I just remember even before then, like there were like verified accounts with like 5,000 followers, 2,000 followers, even
Yeah.
before this.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck are these people? And they're verified, you know? So, I mean, I've heard rumors of people paying like up to $10,000 to Twitter or it's like a Twitter person on a team to give them like a verified check mark or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was definitely some exploitation going around. And it was definitely one of those things where, you know, you can use it to kind of flaunt your clout and everything like that.
Yeah.
But there have been other people who are really popular on YouTube or really popular in general who did not have check marks. And it didn't make any sense why they didn't have check marks because they're very prominent. They had thousands of subscribers and everything like that. So it was very weird. Um Now the process is like crazy. So I did read an article saying that there is coming soon. There's supposed to be um like different colors of the check mark. So the regular gray or blue check mark or white check mark is just one for a verified user. And then all the other check marks, like a purple one will be for the, you know, politicians, and
Mm.
the green one will be for athletes and all this other shit like that.
Why don't they
So
do
those are
red
supposed
for
to be
Republican and blue for Democrats,
uh, probably so that's coming, that's supposed to be coming soon because as of right now, uh people are getting verified. They're making accounts and his whole mantra was like, well, you know, people were like, well, you know, if you just pay for it, you can impersonate people, and that's what people started doing to make a point. People were making accounts, and he was like, well, no one's gonna if you do impersonate somebody, we're gonna instantly suspend it or whatever. And uh and people are like, well, they can just make another one. And he's like, well, you'll need another credit card and everything like that. So a lot of people start making fake card or fake accounts and getting verified with like prepaid debit cards and
Yeah.
using the VPN.
Right.
And it just started going crazy. Somebody was impersonating Rudy Giuliani. They quote tweeted Nancy Pelosi and he said, I don't really like you, but them things be thinking.
Yeah.
Like, and he was talking about her boobs or whatever. And then like it was another person who impersonated OJ and said, I'm not gonna lie, I did that shit. It was another
Oh my
person.
god. Dude, that's hilarious. I didn't see these. That's funny as fuck, man.
Man, yeah, it was a
I
lot
saw
of
the
people who,
Nintendo one where they had like a Mario like flipping you
yeah.
off or whatever. Yeah.
Somebody impersonated Elon Musk himself and was like,
Of
"Yo,
course.
Grimes, I miss you. Come home."
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so it got really crazy, and they haven't implemented the color system yet, so it's going to continue to get crazy until that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it is, I don't like I don't like it at all. Like I think it's stupid. I would rather go back to the old system until you can have a clear cut way for businesses and for you know, for celebrities and people of like a certain caliber of business to get verified and stuff like that. If you have a clear cut process for that, then yes. Um, but I'd rather just go back to the old way until we figure out something new. Um, I don't like the whole paying for it because now there are like people on my account who may have like 10 or 15,000 followers, but they're like nobodies. And like they're literally their lives are just on Twitter.
Mhm.
And they are verified now and they're paying the little $8 a month and everything. And then
Well,
people are like justifying it
because
weirdly.
Elon has confirmed that if you have the check mark, you're gonna be higher in the in the
Oh yeah, and
scroll.
the searches and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
I don't like that. Twitter was a battleground for just weird shit to pop off. Like if you had one viral tweet like one tweet go viral, it was because it was like genuinely a good tweet or it was
yeah.
really controversial or something like that, right? So I think that's gonna be a thing of the past. I think a lot of people I think Twitter is just gonna uh I think Twitter is really on its way down. Like we always talk about it, but this time I actually believe it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird Elon Musk fanboys. Always heard about it,
Yeah.
but to actually see it live happening, it's kind of weird. They're like, "Oh, he's gonna save Twitter and everything," and I think he's purposely killing Twitter.
I I
In
think
in
so
my
too.
in my opinion, Twitter was the one place where you can get uh it was a really left leaning site, and a lot of people didn't like that. And I think I'm not saying he's killing it on purpose. I'm just saying it's just a coincidence that he bought it and now he's trying to kill it. Because of like
Well, it's
all
also a
the
place where the everyman can go after a celebrity or
exactly,
a well-known figure, um,
exactly.
and it's kind of
When
a
you can challenge ideas
right. Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really weird that it's happening. Um, I don't like I said, I don't like it at all. I wish it really wasn't a thing. Um, But here we are. I mean, there are like whistleblowers people who are working for Twitter,
Mhm.
um, who are coming out, and these are like real verified accounts because they have a little blurb under them. If you
Yeah.
go in their profile, it'll tell you like these are real verified between the verified user that just paid and then like somebody of importance or whatever. Um, who are like whistleblowing saying like Elon Musk is saying like yo we're probably gonna go bankrupt, like bankruptcy is on the table and everything like that. And yeah, I think he didn't really mean to buy Twitter, but he did, and he got stuck into it. And now to save the couple billion that he has, he's gonna try to like bankrupt it or whatever.
It's like a temper
So
tantrum, dude. Like he bought it. He said he was gonna buy it, and he offered the money almost as like a joke, and then he got called on his bluff, and he had to buy it, and now he's mad and is like gonna tank it into the ground, which is funny because I mean he's just like ruining his own investment, but um I think the thing for me with this is like obviously this is stupid, right? Paying for verification is a dumb idea because
yeah,
it defeats the purpose of the verified status. Like the fact that I can pay $8 and I'm verified does not mean anything anymore. Everybody can do that. So it has
yep,
no value as in and of itself of what it's supposed to be. Like, it doesn't verify anything. It verifies that you paid $8. Like it's stupid. But I did not like the old verification system either because it was a haves versus have not situation. There was like a club on Twitter of like 300,000 people. They were the cool kids and everybody else is like a fucking plebeian. Um so I would just do away with the check marks period. Fuck the check mark system. No verification. Like what the fuck? Like there needs to be a different way to do this, like to verify people, because to me it was like a status symbol on Twitter and people used it as such, and I think that was a really really negative aspect to the whole thing
yeah.
before. And I don't know. I mean, I've said this before on the show. I hate Twitter. I hope he fucking tears it down. Do I have confidence that that's going to matter in the long term? No. Somebody else will come in and fill the void. Like, if Twitter actually were to shut down. Or to be frank, I think somebody else would come in and buy it probably, and try to fix it. But it's just like, so I don't think we're gonna like do away with this kind of social media, even if he were to successfully tank it. But
Yeah, it's just a weird thing because he said he bought it because of freedom of speech and everything like that. And I I don't not to get political or anything. I don't think this is political. I just think it's common sense. Like we have freedom of speech. But these are private platforms, like at the end of the day. And the one can debate that these platforms are so big that uh that this these private entities are no longer private; they're public. Town halls or whatever,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't be able to censor that. But as far as we know, the Supreme Court didn't rule on it or anything. We haven't had any cases or whatever case. So it's like these are private entities and they can do whatever they want.
Hmm.
And even outside of like the private entity, if you have freedom of speech, but there are also consequences behind freedom of speech. I can say something to you in your face about you, and I have freedom of speech. I can do that. But then the consequences maybe you punch me in the
Right.
face. And those are the consequences
Well,
of
dude,
my
like,
freedom of speech.
like
You know?
you could say a slur, right? Like you have
Yeah,
the ability to do that, right? But the
exactly.
consequence to that is that you're fucking done. No one will want to interact with you at that point, because
Exactly.
you're a fucking bigot piece of shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're
like
not going to get taken to jail or anything, but it's the consequences
you're
of your
gonna be put
actions,
in like public opinion jail though, like
Yeah, but
which is
that's
arguably worse. So
it is arguably worse, but that's a consequence of your freedom of speech,
right. Which
Like you
I
have the
think
right
people
to do
don't get.
that.
They don't get that. They like think freedom of speech means they can do whatever they want. But dude, it's like you have the freedom of action as well. You can do whatever you want. There are consequences to said action though. Like the law doesn't
Exactly.
prevent you from killing somebody. It's like there's a consequence to you doing that though, you know? So
Exactly.
it's the same concept.
Yeah, um so I mean like I said, that tangles all into Twitter and everything, and that's why people wanted the Twitter platform to come back and everything like that. Um, I don't know. I think the platform itself has gotten too powerful. We have literally avoided wars because of Twitter, and we have almost started wars because of Twitter. So it's like, uh,
Which is so
at that,
dumb. It's just so
yeah.
dumb that anybody takes anything that anyone says on that platform seriously.
Well, I mean, it was to the point though where our president at one point was,
No, I
tweeting
know that, but
craziness.
that's my
You know,
point, though. That's my point. It's like you're just gonna react off of that. Like you're playing into the Twitter game, right? Like when you
yeah,
like sit down and talk it out. Like have a conversation. You can't do that on Twitter. Like so.
exactly. Um, I don't know. I think the whole January 6th thing kind of contributed to where Twitter is today
Mm,
and everything. It's a lot of stuff that contribute to where like, and then the pendulum swing of the left and the right, to always fighting each other at each other's throats and everything. It was just a smorgasbord of stuff that led to Twitter to where it's at now. I mean, we can go
but
down in history
it
about
became
how
a war zone,
Tumblr,
dude. It's become a
yeah,
war zone. Like
yeah,
it's
it,
yeah,
it did. It did become a war zone, and I think people are just tired of fighting. I think people are just
yeah,
like, because when you watch somebody like, and I don't think he's like the best podcaster in the world or whatever. And I know people are gonna roll their eyes when they say his name, but when you see somebody like Joe Rogan's podcast, right,
yeah.
and he's talking to somebody who he clearly disagrees with,
Hmm.
and they'll talk and they'll have a conversation. Conversation like he was talking to I think his name Joe Walsh or Matt Walsh or something like that. He was talking to him about like gay marriage or whatever. And obviously Joe was on the side of like Rogan rather was on the side of like that should be cool. And then the other guy was like, no, I don't like. Yeah, it's cool, but it's ruining the sanctity of marriage and all the other bullcrap, whatever, right?
Hmm.
And they were having a conversation, and they diametrically opposed each other. Like one
Yeah.
was on one side and one was on the other side, but they didn't go at each other's throats. They had a conversation and then they just came to the agreement that we're not going to agree. We're going to agree to disagree on the subject. And I think that's okay. Like we can have that. But some people, but like lawmakers and stuff like that, they don't have that opportunity to get to agree or disagree. But I think people hate when you say you need to come to the middle ground, but I think you do need to come to the middle ground. And Twitter was like really eliminating that,
Hmm.
that a space that,
Yeah.
well, even before Twitter was happening, that middle ground conversation was, because I just don't remember politics being this divisive. Like, I don't know, maybe because we're older and we're into politics now,
I
and
mean,
it's always been like
it
this.
always was divisive. It was always that was one of the vices of like, conversation, right? Like religion, politics, and there was one other, I forget what it is now. That
Hmm.
you don't talk about with people with your friends, if you want to have like
Yeah,
civil conversation. So that's always been a thing. It's just that Twitter is like a public platform where every one of us gets our own soapbox, That there
yeah.
wasn't a thing 20 years ago.
Yes, that's true.
So
That's true.
that's where Twitter. That's my point about Twitter. Like we as a society, we're not prepared for what Twitter gave us.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
we're not like we as humans are not evolution. We're not evolved enough to have mature conversations on this website. You know, like we're just not. It is so clear the fact that it has become this divided war zone, where somebody like that, who that guy you were bringing up on Rogan, like there's a group of people on Twitter, and it's a large group who have drawn a line in the sand at this point that people like that they literally think that they shouldn't exist. They deserve to die. Like fuck them. They're like so
Hmm.
combative against people like that. The idea that you even have that opinion makes you like anathema, which I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, I don't like if I knew somebody like that who felt that way and talked about gay marriage that way, I would not personally be super cool with them. But I also wouldn't
Exactly.
fucking go at them and like immediately want to fucking fight them and like knock their fucking teeth out. It's
Yeah,
just
I
not
just won't
normal to
associate
be
with
that
that
way.
person anymore.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I'm the same way. I'm just like, I don't agree with like that statement that anybody can't get married. And I'm like, why not? Like, I mean, it doesn't hurt me in any way. It doesn't hurt you in any way. They should be able to do whatever they
Right.
want. So like, I don't know. But I'm not. I'm also the type of person who just like, I guess I'm passive aggressive. That's the word. Like, I just don't care until you bring it to my attention, and then I have to defend myself or my points. I won't even bring it up at all.
Right.
Like, I just be like, whatever, you
Yeah.
know. Um, because I used to be very vocal, but sometimes the vocalization of certain things doesn't get you anywhere. If that makes any sense, you can
Yeah.
have a conversation,
Yeah.
um, but I don't know. Anyway, but I'm kind of glad Twitter is dying. Like, I can get off the fucking website myself. Like, it's whatever. Even I took a hiatus from it, and then I came back, and now it's just like this is not the same place. And one of my friends who he just completely went ghost on it. Like he's like, I'm just not going to be on it at all, and he's not. And I think he got out at a good time. I think this is probably right now is probably the good time, the best time to get out of Twitter. And if it goes down, it goes down. But I don't think it's ever gonna go down. I think it would change like Tumblr did. You remember how
Mm-hmm.
Tumblr used to be like top spot,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just changed because of their TOSs and stuff, but it never went down. It was just like not the popular place to be at anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the
Yeah.
same thing's going to happen with Twitter. I think it's just gonna be a place where like a fringe group is. Um, and I think that's okay. Like, I don't think it needs to be the main source of like, news and everything. And it was cool to get updated facts and everything like that, or updated information on the spot. Like, your favorite football player got injured. You can know around the spot from like several different sources and everything. But now it's just like, I don't know, man. It's not a fun place to be on sometimes. It's a fun place to tease people or, talk about video games, which I do. But like as far as like, but even that
Even
has been
that,
ruined.
dude, you like
Yeah.
you even
Yeah,
that
even
is
that
like
has been
it's becoming like dude, people are so adversarial. Like you say you don't like
yeah.
a game and they're like, "Well, fuck you, bro." Like it's like the fuck like okay, man, like calm down, dude. Like Jesus. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
people don't understand sarcasm, and it's just a lot of stuff on Twitter. Like a lot of people's lives are based off Twitter and a lot of stuff. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle, and I think older people like me and you, our generation, people in like in our 30s and up, like from 30 to 35, we actually stepped outside and touched grass. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to because there wasn't no Facebook when we were 13
yeah.
or 14.
Right.
We had to go outside and touch grass. We had to go outside and talk to people and everything like that and play video games and all this stuff. We had to go to LAN parties and everything. And the generation now, like the gen, and I hate to be like those people because like, oh, they used to be like, oh, those damn millennials, and it's not like those damn Gen Zers, but it's just like Gen Z hasn't really stepped outside because their whole lives are actually on social media. So it's like they grew up with it. It's like a second tier thing to them, and I don't think that generation is just ready for it. And I don't think they're going to be ready for it when it dies. I think it'll be a very interesting thing to see when Twitter dies, what they do, because they don't use Facebook. They use IG maybe and TikTok,
Yeah.
but it's like, I
Yeah,
think TikTok will be a new
those are
platform.
different
Yeah,
things. So,
exactly. So I don't know, but it's an interesting conversation to have, an interesting thing to see. I'm very interested in seeing what happens in the next couple weeks. If he's just going to bluff it out and then keep it the same, or people are going to stick to it, or they just going to leave the platform. So I don't know.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, we just did 20 minutes on Twitter on our video game podcast.
Oh my
Woo!
god.
All right, everybody. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. And yes, sometimes off-topic things like Twitter dying. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us a question that we will read and answer on the show, you can do so on Twitter at The Player's Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, Montrell, let's get into the show proper here. Talk about what we've been playing. So I think I'm going to go first because I don't have as much as you to talk about. So
Okay.
playing a little Apex Legends, of course, not much. Just a couple sessions. I did try the new map out, and I do dig. I do dig the new map. I think it is a very good map comparatively to the previous ones, especially fucking Kings Canyon, which is not in the game this season. Thank Christ. Um, but so enjoying the map for sure. We have had some interesting success so far this season, which I'm surprised by. We've had few wins. I think like 4 or 5 so far
Yeah.
in the at least a couple sessions I played. Which I'm surprised about given how sweaty people are at the beginning of seasons, seasons and splits.
Yeah.
We've actually been doing pretty well overall. I do think the new map contributes to that. It definitely feels like a more tactical map than some others like Storm Point, for instance. I just that map is so open in certain spaces, but so I think it's good. The new character, you've been playing her. Um, I don't know how I feel about Catalyst. Like
She's she's balanced.
yeah, I
I think
just
she's balanced.
yeah, I think the thing that she does with doors is like the most impactful thing she does, though. Honestly, like, but
Yeah, her ult isn't really as good as I thought it was gonna be.
mhm.
It's very situational.
Yeah, and I think the fortification of doors is like it's weird because you can kind of like lock a spot down, So she's
Yeah.
almost she's like a defensive character in that way. So I think she's interesting. I do think they need to buff slash modify the ult a little bit though, um, because I just like I don't know. I didn't know how it worked at first, so I thought it was like an actual physical wall you couldn't like go through, but people can go through it. You can walk through it, whether you're an enemy or an
Yeah.
ally. Allies aren't affected by it. If you're an enemy and you walk through, you get like slowed and then like blinded a little bit, and it's like you're um you can't see perfectly. So I think it's okay. I don't think it's super good. I'm kind of with you on that. I think her tactical is also pretty good. But yeah, I think she might need a little bit of a buff. But she's not like OP like Seer was when he came out, or Valkyrie, or some of these other characters recently. So I think she's in a pretty good spot overall. But the map is good. I definitely want to play more. I've just not been in a huge multiplayer mood lately.
Yeah.
But it is a fun mech. I think the thing with Apex right now though is it's just like they did exactly what we said, right? The game right now just feels stale. Even with the new map, like that's gonna carry us for half a season. But I bet you by the split, like we're all just gonna be like, whatever, dude. It's like the same game, new champion, another crappy battle pass that fucking nobody cares about. Like it's not even like fun. And yeah, it's like like I'm actually more curious what they're gonna do next season. What does season 16 look like? Because I think
I
they really need to start making some changes to this game, dude. Honestly.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll let you go because I'll talk about it more on my end of Apex.
Okay.
Um,
Other than Apex, I've been playing Genshin Impact mostly. That's kind of the main game I've been playing this past week. I got through most of the Inazuma, so the third region storyline, and I gotta say, this was a definite down period in this game's life because this was the worst story they've done so far. I thought
okay.
the first region was a good introduction to the game world and everything, and I think the second region was like excellent. Had like really great storytelling. But this third region, dude, was like so not good. Honestly, I was so disappointed when I finished it, and I was like, that was it. That's it. That's the conclusion. It just kind of ended with a thud. In my opinion. So I'm in the game is still fun. I'm just like the story is a big part of the reason I like this game though. The main plot. So to feel that way, to do that and feel that way, it just was it was a bit disappointing. But I'm still playing it. And I'm still enjoying it. I think it's still a fun game to play. Um, Other than that, I don't know. Do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to kind of save this for last? The last
We can
game.
save it for last.
Okay, then yeah, you go ahead.
So I've been playing. I haven't really touched Bayonetta 3.
Hmm.
I'm actually saving Bayonetta 3 for like a rainy day.
Hmm.
So I kind of put that to the side for right now. But I did play it within the last couple of days, so I did put it on there. I just reached a point. Not a. I just every character action game has a point that you reach, and it's for me. I haven't touched it since I reached the train stage because I just really don't like that mechanic, and I
Hmm.
gotta just power through it. That usually happens with me in character action games, and I reach a point where I hate one of the mechanics. I'm in the flow of something, and I really like the flow I'm in, and then they just throw an unnecessary mechanic on it, or you know, temporary area that you got to go through. So I'm
Yeah.
at that with this game.
Yeah.
I just got to power through it, and I just didn't feel like power through it right now. So it's whatever. Uh Overwatch 2, so my thing with Overwatch 2, I love playing it casually. I hate it playing it competitively. Like I think the game is just way too sweaty competitively. Like I
Yeah.
already have one
Okay.
competitive game or two
Yeah.
competitive games I play, which is uh League of Legends and Apex. I don't want to add another third character game, character action game, or character shooter game or whatever. Um, because man, you have to know what to do, when to do it, and it's a lot of stuff happening on screen. Compared to I know MOBAs are pretty chaotic, but it's like a structured chaos, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And then Apex can get pretty chaotic as well, but we can kind of control that. It just feels like sometimes a lot of the shit in Apex is out of my control. And then on top of that, I'm playing on PC. So it's like I'm not all the way there yet with my aim yet. So I'm trying to get there. I got like a new whole mouse and keyboard and mouse pad layout and everything. So I'm hitting shots a lot better and everything. But it's just like I got to get used to playing back on keyboard and mouse again for first person shooters.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm just not really ready for competitive yet. I think in a couple months I will be, but like right now, definitely not. I love playing the game casually though. I think it's like one of the funnest things casually, which is the complete opposite online. If you go on YouTube right now and search up Overwatch 2, not when the game released, but like today, you'll see videos from like 2 days ago, 1 day ago, 3 days ago. Overwatch is dead. Is Overwatch dead? How come Overwatch 2 is not fun anymore? I'm just like, I'm having a fucking blast with the game casually.
Hmm.
But like everybody else who play Overwatch 1, they come to Overwatch 2, they hate it. Um, so I don't know. Uh I've been playing a little bit of God of War Ragnarok. I got like 2 or 3 hours in. Uh
Yeah, I'm in
I
the
mean,
same point. So you're at the did you get to like the first realm?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I'm in the same spot, I think. So
Yeah. I mean, I really don't have too much to say about it, to be honest with you.
me either,
I
man.
mean, yeah, I mean, the game opened up pretty okay for me. I actually forgot about some story beats. So when that one character was chasing us, I completely forgot about that plot line. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why she's chasing us.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but I will say this is not spoilers because it's in the fucking everybody knows it's gonna happen. When you meet Thor, that motherfucker's tall, and I actually prefer this Thor to like the Disney Thor or
I
Marvel's
like I
Thor.
yeah, I do like what they've done with Thor. I mean,
Yeah,
they the way they were setting him up in the first game is that he's such a like fucking asshole piece of shit. Like
yeah,
I mean, he seems like it, like he's
yeah.
I really enjoyed that. It just I think the thing so far for me is like the game is I'm waiting for that like wow moment to happen, and I think that the fight you have at the beginning, like the big boss fight you have right away,
Mhm.
is supposed to be that, but it was kind of like I'm gonna
Lackluster.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest because dude, I'm playing the game on hard, like the difficulty under the hardest, right under the hardest, so one above
Me
normal.
too. Yeah,
And
me too. Yeah.
that fight wasn't hard at all. I didn't die once. Like I got through it in one go, and it felt like you were supposed to. Like like the game made it seem like like it was almost railroading you, because there's a point where you die in the fight and the game, like, goes to black,
Yeah.
and then the tip screen comes up for a second, and then it, like, you get like revived or whatever. And it's like, I'm like, that wasn't like but that wasn't me. I don't know if like you died normally, like your health bar went down, like you would actually die and you'd have to start over.
No, for me, I had actually full health bar, and then he did one move and it took my entire health bar down.
Okay.
And I was like,
Yeah. So
I died.
it
So
felt very staged, and that is total opposite of the first game's early boss fight. That I thought, that is an actual fight where you have to take that boss's HP down
mhm.
all the way, and you can die at any time, and you have to start over from your last checkpoint in the fight.
Yeah.
Whereas this did not feel that way at all, and that fight was like really challenging. I remember when I
Oh
played
yeah,
the first
yeah.
game. This one just wasn't. Like, I felt like the moves of the boss were like really easy to dodge, and they were very telegraphed. And so I was a little disappointed with that. I feel like I felt like they went a little easy on us, and they're trying to like be like super cinematic with it, which, like, they did that in the first game too, but it felt better there, I guess, is my feeling
It,
on it.
it felt really I don't know. The first game, it felt really surprising because you had
Yeah.
this dude who wanted to fight you, and
You don't even
I
know who
think
he
you did.
is. You have no
Yeah,
fucking
you don't
clue
know
who
who
this
he
guy
is.
is. And he's
I
just
think
fucking
you fought.
flying around like Goku, dude. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you fought the troll and everything. Like you fought a lot
Mhm.
of people. You did
Mhm.
a whole little first level
Yep.
tutorial level kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
Then you fight this guy, and then it seems tame at first, and then it just goes ball to the walls, like almost like original God of War shit.
Yeah, they build
The
the
shit that
fight
you
up
got.
in the middle of the fight. Like the fight
Yeah,
builds, the craziness builds.
it
I think that's
it
the
it
issue
rem-
here. Yeah.
yeah, it reminds me of the old God of War when I play that fight because
Yep.
I went through and played the
Yep.
game again, and
Yep.
it reminds me of old God of War. Like this is what the game used to be, and then it kind of settles itself again. With this game, it's like they're establishing that like they're not the old God of War anymore. Like it's kind of hard to explain. I can't really
I
explain it,
almost
but you're
feel like
right.
they just didn't know what to do, and they just copied what the first game did. That's kind of what
Yeah,
it
it
feels like
feels
so far. Like, I don't know.
right now,
Because the
and it's really early to
structure
say.
is exactly the same up
I
until the
was just
point
gonna
we're
say
at.
that.
Yeah.
Right now, this feels like God of War 1.5, or 4.5 for people
Yeah.
or whatever. It doesn't feel like a true sequel. It feels like if there was if this was called God of War Part 2, this would be God of War Part 2, but not like in The Last of Us Part 2, right? The Last of Us Part 2 was an actual like sequel. Like you saw the advances in the controls and
Right.
everything like that.
Right.
With this game, I don't really see the combat, especially for combat. Right now,
It
I
feels
don't see that
the same.
it feels the exact same way. It doesn't feel like they improved the combat at all, in my opinion. And they talked about it in their like, we did this with the combat. And the only thing for me that they did was put more enemies on the screen. Like that's all they did for me. As the part that I see right now, the enemies are a little bit more like aggressive and they move a lot more and everything like that, which is cool and everything. And then you got two weapons to handle like crowd control and then the axe or whatever. And it's like I like that, but it's just like I don't know. I wanted a little bit more from the combat. I wasn't, and no, I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting any kind of Devil May Cry shit or anything. I just wanted more from the combat.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
I
like
just want
we're early in the game, so maybe there's something.
maybe yeah.
There's
That's
things
what
that
I'm
are gonna
holding
get
back right
revealed.
now. Maybe
Yeah.
some things would be revealed and
Yeah,
everything
but
like that.
dude,
So
what I'm disappointed in though, and this is where I'm kind of agreeing with you so far, is that, dude, your move set it feels like they just put your move set back to where it was at the beginning of the first game, you know? Like,
yeah,
you don't have any of your special moves or anything, and there's no reason for that to be the case. Like, Kratos didn't lose his powers, or there's nothing that happens like that would justify that. And it's kind of annoying to me that I'm like looking at the skill trees, and I'm like I don't know this because I haven't played the first game in like 4 years, but like some of the moves are like, did wasn't this on the skill tree in the first game? Like, like, and that would be really disappointing if that's the case, because right now it just feels like I'm just base
for the
Kratos, and I got to rebuild myself back up to where I was at the end of the first game, and it's like,
yeah, for the axe, I definitely remember some of the moves being there. I can't remember the chains of Olympus. I can't remember that one
well, you didn't
because I
have them
barely
very
used it.
long, so
Yeah,
yeah,
I barely had them. So
yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's just it's the beginning of the game's first 3 hours, so maybe they're just trying to get you familiar before they throw the good shit in there.
Yeah.
Um,
They haven't wowed me
so
yet though. That's for
yeah,
sure.
but yeah, it hasn't wowed me yet. Honestly, I kind of feel like I could have waited. Like I could have waited a couple weeks before I bought it, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
bought
yeah,
it
because it
and
just kind of picks up where the first game left off, even though some time has
yeah,
definitely passed. Clearly, obviously, like Atreus is
exactly.
older, but like you're just right back into where you were though. Like you got Mimir with you, you got Atreus and you got Kratos, and you're running around. You already met Sindri and Brock, and like we're all just talking shit, and everybody's just fucking we're back in the adventure, guys. It's like there was a giant pause, and then we're back in it. It's like, we're running around and Mimir's explaining whatever the fuck, and Atreus is
Yeah.
like, fucking telling
Well,
Kratos.
even that aspect of it, right? On the
Yeah,
boats and stuff, they're not talking as much. I don't know. It's just every time I got in the fucking boat in the first game, like there
there was
was
a
some
conversation. Yeah,
there was a conversation, there was something. In this game, like that first area, you're in the boats, like people are not really talking as much as and everything. I don't fucking know. It's only the first 3 hours, y'all. So I'm just saying compared to like my first 3 hours of God of War 1, if we're
which I was
going
blown
apples
away.
yeah, and I was kind of expecting to be blown away, but not too much
Hmm.
with this game, and I'm kind of like indifferent about it right now because I kind of knew this was kind of going to happen, but I didn't want to say anything. I was just like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play the game.
Yeah,
But
it's just interesting though. This game's getting really rave reviews, so it's got to hit. So I'm sure the
it
story starts to hit at some point.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm definitely if it stays at the same tone it is now, I'm definitely gonna like go at those reviews. Um, so the next game I've been playing was like I think I did. Did I talk about Apex Legends? Oh, I kind of skipped
no, you
over it,
skipped
but yeah,
Apex.
yeah. So I did been having playing Apex, and I think Catalyst is a really cool champion. I got bored with her though, but because I think people actually already figured her out, and I figured her out too. When I go against a Catalyst player, I'm not even afraid of her. I know how to outmaneuver her and everything. Um,
Hmm.
the thing I'm really upset about right now is because even on console, when I'm playing on console, I'm noticed I'm getting beamed a lot, and I couldn't fucking. I thought maybe it was just the auto aim or the auto aim, but the aim assist or whatever. And when I did some research, or I kept seeing this word in the Discord, or not Discord, but on the Reddit, which is Chronos packs and then Strike packs. And I looked it up and I put it in a group chat, and it's just like this device. I thought it just gave you paddles. Like if you don't want, it's a cheaper option to get paddles in your controller if you don't want to do the whole what they call the scruff controllers, if you don't want to do scruff controllers. But this thing, man, it has mods on it and everything. They have a mod where they can auto attune for recoil and everything like that. And it does it like on the controller. So it's not really doing it on the computer or the console. So the game can't detect that. So there have been times where I just been getting beamed and we've been getting beamed, and technically they're not cheating. They're just using the Chronos pack or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be.
Well,
Uh,
we did get
and
DDoS once in a battle.
oh yeah, and the DDoS shit was happening as well. Uh, and we have been winning games, but from what I understand, people are playing like a lot of the aggressive people are playing the pubs now. Pubs is sweaty, and people are not playing ranked because they just don't like ranked at all. And obviously we're having more wins in ranked until
Yeah.
I think we get. I've been seeing on the Reddit until you get to like gold 2 or gold 1, and then you just get nothing but master and preds. And I mean, we already complained about that, so I'm not gonna go down that
I want to play.
rabbit hole.
I do want to play pubs at some point this season though, because I mean Olympus is in the rotation right now. So,
Okay,
and I haven't
yeah.
played that map for like fucking 5 seasons. It feels like so.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. The game is okay. I just think, yeah, it's stale right now. Like Fortnite's always doing something really different. Even PUBG. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting to that. It's getting to that area where PUBG that we were at. But PUBG, we were just generally bad at PUBG. Um, but I also was getting upset with us because we were getting into that PUBG mindset where we're always landing outside the map. And I'm like, bro, I do not want to do that
Man,
shit. I
yeah,
want
you
to
did
fight
have a
people.
moment. Yeah, you texted us and you're like, "Bro, I want to fight. I want to fight. I don't want to sit back." And I was like, "Were you talking to both of us, or are you just talking to
I,
Jet, bro?" Because I
I was just
mean,
talking in general. I was just talking in general.
Because
I was talking to General.
I'm like, man, I push with you, man. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Like,
I was just talking to General. I didn't want to single anybody out. I was just talking to
yeah,
General,
okay.
and I was saying like, listen, I want to fight. I don't. I when we knock somebody, when we hit somebody, like we need to move and push.
Well,
Like
this
I
is the
don't want
thing. Jet's become sniper boy, so I have started to play snipers with him because it's a detriment to the team when one person plays snipers and they don't push up, you know.
yeah,
Um, and he does have a tendency to do that. So I'm
yeah,
trying to play snipers with him so we can open with a knock, you know, and then we can push
yeah.
up, you know.
And I've learned on my end to just wait. Like
Yeah,
and that's been
because
to
we
my
do get the
even
knocks,
playing.
dude. Like we
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
and even like when I'm playing solos and stuff like that, I notice that I'm overly aggressive. Like people don't push with me, and I'll get like two knocks by myself, and then my team's like way on the other side of the fucking map, and I'm like, y'all
Hmm.
were just right next to me. What the fuck happened? So it's like I learned myself just by playing solo, like my tendencies on how to improve and everything like that. Playing with randos.
Yeah.
So that when I said that in the text, I was just like, I want to play and I want to play aggressive. But I know when to move, when we need to move, when we that's what I probably should have put. Like when we get a knock, we need to move. We don't need to sit there and, lollygag, just
Yeah, oh,
fucking
I
move
totally
in.
agree with you. No, I mean when you get a
Yeah.
knock, you push off of it. Like that's what
Yeah,
you
because
do.
I feel
Yeah.
like as much as we complain, like the only way we can get better at handling these like master and players is to play fucking against them. And like we got 2 wins in one day because we weren't overly aggressive, but we were just like playing
You
the
got to pick
game.
your
We were like,
spots, dude. I think
yeah,
there's always a balance in Apex, right? Like if you're because I have noticed this with you, where you're like hyper aggressive sometimes, and dude, you're like
mm,
pushing up, and like me and Jet are even close to you, you know, like, and I'm like fucking sprinting, using my abilities, just trying to keep up with you. And then like you will run into a team and you get knocked, and that's a situation where you're too aggressive. But then there's
yeah,
times where we're sitting back and you know we're in the middle of a fight and we knock somebody and we give them too much time to get that person up, you know, and it's like then
yeah,
and then we push up and then they're up and they're fully healed and it's just like we're just pushing it into a team of three. It's like there's no point. So it's like
yeah,
there's a happy medium. I kind of I don't really like snipers in Apex. The only reason I'm playing them right now is because we have a teammate that plays them like every game. So I'm doing it. Also, I play Vantage, so there is an advantage to playing
oh yeah,
snipers
yeah.
with her. So I'm doing it for that reason as well. But I mean, like, dude, if we were playing duos, I probably would never run sniper. Like, I would do short mid range
I
and
just feel like
like
there's a time and a
you know
place for them.
yeah
Like for me, like I play like a scout or a DMR like early game because you can't get knocks and you can't get damage and you want to build up your damage meter and or your evo shield and everything. So I
hmm
may play like a triple take or a longbow or something like that.
yeah
And then I would switch over like to mid game, late game. I'm switching to both close quarter weapons because I know it's going to be a close quarter fight, mid
yeah
range to close quarters. Um, so I don't know. It's just with this map though, I think we're learning all of our because it's kind of like forcing us to fight, and we kind of learn all of our weaknesses. So I don't know. I like the map so far and everything like that. I like the fight, but I always know I notice for me I do get overly aggressive. But there are certain times where I just like, yo, we should just fucking push. I'm like, because on Ash's ability, like I use Ash a lot, so
hmm
I know this champion. So when I'm looking at the map and I see boxes go up, like they flash my map. And I'm like, okay, well, that team just put down a team, so we can either get them while they're gathering materials or right now. So that's how I be knowing sometimes, like, yo, we need to move like right now because we can catch them while they're gathering their materials or whatever from the
yeah.
team they just not.
Well, those two
Um,
games that we won back to back the other night,
yeah,
I was like like I was with you whenever you were pushing when we were winning
yeah,
those games. Like I was making a very concerted effort to stay with you. Um,
yeah,
there were times where we were. There was actually a point late in that I think one of the games where we were about to push up, but we missed our window and we backed out.
yeah,
You know,
yep,
we didn't engage, and it was the right decision. We ended up catching
yep,
those guys coming into the circle, and we fucking knocked me and Jet knocked one at range, and then we fucking pushed up, and they couldn't recover. You know,
yep,
so it worked. Like you know, it's just like we have to play those situations right. I think there's times where our decision making is poor. You know,
yeah.
where like
Well,
like for instance if Snakes had been there instead of you, I feel like he would have committed, you know, and
yeah.
like we would have died, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's just like, and it's not just Jet. It's like sometimes we were playing with like Brad or something. Like Brad will push with me, but he's not confident in his shots. Like he just doesn't like Apex. He's just not
no,
confident in when he.
he's got a mental
Yeah,
block
he's
going on
good,
right
and he
now.
just got
He
like a
just
mental block going on, and
yeah,
it's like,
he's
bro, I
hindering
need you to
himself.
work with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like, I need you to work with me. So like I'm because I have 100% faith in like Jet shot. Sometimes I'm like, I
Yeah.
know Jet's gonna hit him when I'm pushing, and I just need one more person with me. And Brad doesn't have the confidence when he's shooting, so it's just like I like the game. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's a
I
good
think
game.
yeah, I think us as a
It
squad, like we like we like lack I think we lack leadership. Like there's not like we all make call outs equally. Like none of
yeah.
us really take command. And I think there are times where we kind of need that, that element
Yeah, and
to it.
and
Cause
that's what I'm trying to fill that role, but I don't
yeah,
want to be
I mean,
like
I try to
overly
do it
aggressive.
too. I try to do it
Yeah.
too, but I just, we have really headstrong friends. And,
Yeah.
um, if you get too aggro with it, they get very, very, they bite back, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So so,
Yeah.
I just try to, I don't know. I'm like an amoeba with it. I try to work with whatever team I have, and like make myself malleable. Like if I'm playing with Jet, I'm gonna play a little bit more range. If I'm not, if I'm playing with you and Snakes, like I'm gonna play short range and we're gonna be aggressive, like that.
Yeah, and
That's I try to
I
that's what
try
I
to
try
meet
to
that
fill,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's funny, when me and Jet are playing duos, I don't know, it's like the perfect mesh. Like he snipes and then I push, but because it's duos, like we really don't have to worry about everyone else. I don't know. It's just a weird because me and him won a lot of games duos, so it's
Yeah.
like I know how to play with Jet because I play Jet with duos. But it's like when we get into a trio situation, like the whole dichotomy changes, and I don't know what it is. But I don't know. I
Well,
enjoy the game.
it's because I think there's a third person, right? So they can like flank, they can do all sorts of shit, right? To like,
Yeah,
make the dynamic of the fight different.
yeah,
Um
you're right.
when you're playing duos, when somebody's sniping right on a duo and you suppress one guy on the enemy team, like you do a ton of damage to them and force them behind cover. Well, suddenly there's only one guy that's like engaged,
Yep.
otherwise. The other one's hiding and trying to heal. So you're like kind of in a 2v1 at that point for a brief
Yeah,
moment, for like a brief, like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds maybe. But that's enough time in Apex to kill somebody, easily.
yeah,
So I think that might be the difference, right? Is that
yeah,
it's not as effective in trios is because there's another guy,
yeah.
a two v
That third
three is a
person.
winnable fight. You can win a 2v3, but a 1v2, that's hard. That
Yeah,
can be hard. You need to be on point, so
yeah,
yeah, that may be the difference. I just think, I don't know. I mean, like we're good. We're good, like we're good at the game, dude. I just think my thing is there are days where I'm not focused enough, and I'm those 1v1 fights where you're fighting somebody 1v1 out in the open. I'm just not winning those,
yeah.
Um,
I
and
think the reason, like the game is just. I understand when you don't want to play or when Andy doesn't want to play. I completely understand. Even sometimes I don't want to play, but I just don't want. Sometimes I don't want to leave Jet hanging or anybody else hanging. I try to like balance my game time with everybody.
mhm,
But the game itself requires a lot of focus. And
yes,
sometimes I just don't want to focus because the game is overly sweaty. And a lot of people have said that it's just really sweaty. And I agree. The game is just really sweaty right now. It's not a fun. It's a fun game, but like only at certain aspects.
yeah,
Um, and I usually get my sweatiness off from like fucking League of Legends. So
yeah,
it's when I'm in Apex mode, I don't even touch League of Legends. And then when I'm in League of Legends mode, I don't even jump over to Apex. I may jump over to Overwatch, but I'm like I'm not jumping over to like Apex, bro.
yeah,
I play League of Legends today. I got my
yeah.
sweatiness out. Um,
Yeah, but
but the next
I can
game,
like feel it early in the night when we play Apex is if it's gonna be a good night for me or a bad night, because
yeah,
it's just like that night we won 2 games in a row. I could feel it coming because like I felt good that night. I was like outmaneuvering people. I'm like I one of the games I remember, like you both, I think we like landed hard and you both died, and I think I fucking like gave a team like the slip, like an entire team the slip, got both of your
you
banners
did,
and fucking got
yeah,
out, revived you guys, and we fucking won the game. Like,
yeah,
it's like, and that those are like, so there are times where like I feel I know that I am playing extremely well, where I'm like using the terrain really well, and like getting around people and kind of confusing them on where I am and shit. Like, but then there's some nights where dude, I don't even like. I just run at people and you just die. It's like you're not fucking there.
Yeah, and
So
the reason we got to focus so hard is because like we know we were playing against cheaters. Like we're just playing pro bono, like you
we got
know,
the Rock Lee weights on, bro, at all
yeah,
times.
like
Yeah.
everybody else is just cheating, and it's like
Yeah.
that's what it feels like sometimes at least. But I don't know. But I have been playing. I've been playing a little bit of StarCraft. One only played like maybe an hour of it on the first. I'm on the first or not the first level. Maybe like the second or third mission right now. Yeah, and I'm enjoying it. I'm just playing it. No one was online, and I was in between. Like Sonic didn't come out yet, so I just
Yeah.
downloaded it and played it. And yeah, man, the music came on, and the Terran music
The
came on. I was
Terran
like, oh
music. Oh yeah.
man, yeah,
Commander.
man, yeah, man, I
STV,
loved it.
good go, sir.
And I was like, man, this shit
Wait, have
is
you gotten
so
siege
fucking
tanks
good.
yet?
Nah, I haven't got
Oh
there
man, identify target.
yet. So I
Ready to
haven't got to that
roll
mission
out.
when you unlock them yet, but I'm getting there, and the story is really still the story is still fucking good. Like it's still fucking good. So it didn't age it did age well.
Man, I
Um
haven't played StarCraft, and dude, it's time, bro. I think it might
yeah.
have been 10 years since I played StarCraft. That feels like a
So
great stream game, man, to run through.
yeah. I think people would like to stream that game and like actually just it's just a good game. I think I love RTSs, but that game for some reason is just really fucking good to me.
Mhm.
But I have been playing Sonic Frontiers, and this game uh it's
Mhm.
almost the perfect Sonic game, bro.
Okay.
Almost. It's almost there. Like the
Almost.
next game is gonna be the if they take the advice that people give them from Sonic Frontiers 1 and they apply it to the next game and they don't do some weird shit and change the whole formula up, like this game will be like really good. It's already good. It's just pure fucking fun. Like
Yeah.
traversing through these islands, because it's 5 islands, and they have these things called cyber levels, which are pretty much like little mini, like the traditional zones in Sonic games. So it's like a little mini level or whatever. They like maybe a minute and a half long, that have they're like an obstacle course or whatever. uh the music hits, uh even when you're in the open zone, like man, like you're using Sonic and you use the boost and everything, and uh this is the first time in my opinion like the boost isn't a hindrance, is an actual addition to it.
Yeah.
Sonic is still easy to control in my opinion. You can do sharp turns and everything with them. The game and the combat is actually okay, like it's really good. The combat is really decent. It's a little bit like kind of sticky here and there. It is sticky here and there. But I mean, some jank is with every Sonic game. Sonic Adventure 2, which is considered by most people like the most perfect Sonic game, that has a lot of jank to it.
Mhm.
And this one has more polish than that game, in my opinion. It's just a really fleshed out game. The characters are fleshed out really well, as far as like voice acting, and the story is just like typical Sonic shit. But like the character interactions and stuff like that is really good, actually. And the voice acting is really good as well. I don't know. The Sonic, this is for me, it's like an 8 out of 10. Like
Yeah.
this is a really good Sonic game.
Mhm.
uh I love it so far. It's just fun. If I want to like cool off, steam off, I don't want to play God of War. I want to just play like some crazy move fast, run fast type shit. Uh I play this game. It requires some skill to do certain things, to pull off certain things. You gotta learn certain things. You have to be reactive towards certain things, and I like it. I just think it's a really perfect balance of like a Sonic game,
Mhm.
for old fans and for new, because they got some 2D sections in there and everything like that. The music, like I said, I think the music is one of the best aspects of the game. On the cyber levels, man, that OST hits really good. It
Yeah.
really matches the tone of the levels, of the cyber levels, and everything like that. Uh, I don't really like the open zone music too much, because it's kind of like that airy, like, oh, we're exploring type music, and it's kind of really quiet and low,
Mhm.
not high octane. But the cyber levels are like really high octane, like industrial, house techno music type shit, and it's like really fucking good. I like the type of music.
Mhm.
So I don't know, man. I right now I don't really have anything bad things to say about it. Like I said, there is some jank here and there, and I don't like the texture pop in. Because it's the pop. I'm playing on the PS5, and the pop in is like really real. That's because you're
That's
moving
crazy.
so fast.
I know, but
But
it should
you
be able to
have
handle it.
yeah, it should be. It should be. I don't know. I think it's gonna get patched later on. But
Yeah.
right as of right now, I don't see how people are playing this shit on the Switch. Like, don't even buy this shit on the Switch. Like, I don't know how you're playing this fucking shit on the Switch.
I didn't even know it was on
Um,
Switch.
yeah,
Interesting.
it is on. It's on every, and I think they try. I think that's the why the pop-ins on the other consoles because they try to get it on the Switch. Um, so but you can still react to stuff and everything. It's kind of like a hope and prayer when you're doing stuff in the air and you're moving forward and everything like that. And then the
Mhm.
pop in comes in, then you can adjust. They give you enough time to adjust though. But I'm really hoping that next game they kind of optimize, or even this game, they release a later patch and they kind of optimize a little bit more for each individual console, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But you can tell they definitely took their time making this game. Uh, People are complaining about the floating obstacles and shit. And I'm like, bro, have y'all played a Mario game? Like, have y'all played like, I don't know, any kind of like platformer game where like random shit is just like in the air
Yeah.
floating,
Yeah.
for you to like play. It's like a playground. It's a huge Sonic playground, and I fucking love it. I
Mhm.
think they nailed it out the park with his speed, with his balance of speed, action, and yeah, just overall like being Sonic. I feel like I'm actually this is the first game, like no joke, I'm feeling like I'm Sonic in like the trailers and shit like that because I'm doing crazy shit. And you play as Super Sonic at one point, at a couple of points in the game, and like he's just doing like crazy like Goku shit and everything. Like it's just crazy. Like I love the fucking game. It's just like
Mhm.
I think the game's really fucking good. If you don't like it, you're just not a. In my opinion, like I'm, and I know this is super subjective, but in my opinion, it's objective. If you don't like this game, then you are just not a Sonic fan. Like
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah.
It's a really good Sonic game. Um, you have to really go out your way to hate this game, in my opinion. And I've read magazines that get like 2 or 1, and I'm like, yeah, y'all just hate Sonic because this game is really fucking
I
good.
mean,
Like it's
it's
a really
getting
fucking
pretty
good
good
game.
ratings overall, though.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know. They finally figured out the formula for it for Sonic, and I think this is the formula. And I'm actually really excited if they do continue the Frontiers series. I'm really excited for Frontiers 2. I think Frontiers 2, if Sonic Team, this is a big if because Sonic Team can sometimes be crazy. If they get their shit together and like listen to the feedback, actually, this might be one of the greatest Sonic games of all time. Right
Mhm.
now, Frontiers is just under like Sonic Adventure 2 for me, as far as like the best Sonic game. Uh
Wow.
so yeah. Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. I'm glad you got your Sonic game, man. That they
Yeah, man.
finally got.
I've been
They
looking
finally
forward to
got it.
this.
I know you've been
Yeah.
waiting a long time for this shit.
Yeah.
So, I do want to talk about one thing before we move on. So, I bought the disc version of God of War Ragnarok on PS5, and
hmm
when I got home, and you mentioned something before the show that you were going to give me shit about is that I was playing Genshin Impact last night. On God of War release day. And there's a reason for that is because when I put the fucking God of War disc in, it started a fucking like 15 gigabyte download or more. It was like 25 gigs or something crazy. It took like an hour or more
Really?
for the download. Yeah, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is the point of the disc if you're having me download all this shit? I was like, I don't know if it was like a day one patch or what, but it didn't seem that way because the game wasn't fucking playable. It was like when you like download a game from PSN and it has the bar, like the download bar for the whole thing, and then like I don't know, 2/5 of the way down the bar, it has like an arrow saying playable, like you can
Yeah.
play it at that point. That's what it did to me when I put the disc in, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So I was like, dude, I was sincerely considering buying this game digital. I was very close to doing it. I just didn't do it on Tuesday. At midnight on Wednesday morning. I forgot to do it, so I just went out, and bought the game physical. But I'm starting to break, man. I just like I'm getting to the point where buying these games physical at this point is just starting to become very purposeless,
Yeah.
for certain
Unf-
games.
Unfortunately, bro, I already broke. I bought Sonic. Um, I because I pre-ordered it like a couple hours before like the pre-order was up or whatever,
Yeah,
so I can preload it into my console.
yeah,
And I did that for God of War, so I feel like in that case, guys, pre-ordering is okay. Like it's like a couple hours before, but like
Well, yeah, if you want to get the
Yeah,
preload so it's ready right when it releases, like that's
exactly.
fine. Yeah.
Like, so I did that or whatever. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was a seamless thing. Like, I was gonna wait for it to get the disc version, but when I downloaded it, nothing happened. And I've been hearing weird stories about the God of War disc being ejected, and then like people save corruption or files are getting
Oh
corrupted and
no,
everything.
no, bro.
So just be careful with that, bro. That's all I gotta say.
I hope not.
Uh,
Fuck that.
yeah. So I don't know.
Well, so like Tactics Ogre's coming out, obviously in a few hours, which I'm fucking so excited
Oh
about.
shit,
Jesus Christ.
that comes
Um,
out tomorrow, right?
yeah, yeah. I'm planning on downloading it tonight at midnight. Like I might even fucking preload it
Actually,
actually.
so since we're in
Um,
Central Time, you can download it right now, and it's available at 11 o'clock. Both
oh,
Sonic
that's
and
right.
God of War were available for me at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah, okay. 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 Might play some
Yeah,
Tactics Ogre tonight then. So yeah, that's I'm definitely buying that game digital. I don't know, man. I think the only reason I'm hanging on to physical anymore is because I like to be able to resell the games when I'm done with them. Like if I beat
yeah,
something in a couple weeks and like God of War for instance, or even for Horizon Forbidden West, I did this with that game. Is like I beat it and I sold it for like $45 or $40. It's like
yeah. For me, I'm not gonna like games like this. I don't plan on selling, so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna, because
Well,
I like to go back and replay my game
bro,
sometimes.
Tactics
So
Ogre, I'm not selling Tactics Ogre. So
yeah,
that's why I'm
so
like, I'm just gonna buy it digital. I don't care. You know.
like one game I regret buying digital was Battlefield. Like that's one game I regret buying digital.
Mm.
Um,
I might start making my choices more along the lines like that. If it's something I want to keep, like I'm gonna have it in my collection,
mhm.
I might just buy it digital. You know, um,
Yeah.
because having the physical disc is just not. It's honestly starting to annoy me actually having to like put the disc in and like fucking
Yeah.
eject it and shit when I'm like playing multiple games at the same time. I'm kind of starting to get over this shit. It's like I've been doing
Yeah.
that
I
for
mean,
like 30
I'm
years.
feeling the same way, bro. I feel it the same way.
I know it
Like,
sounds stupid, but it's like, dude, it's across
no,
the
it
room,
doesn't.
bro. I'm trying to relax, like I don't,
No, you definitely, you're making good points, and that's how I feel as well. Like I feel like, um, I don't know. I don't want to, you know, get up and it's easier to just get up or on my controller switch over to Sonic instead of getting up and then putting God of War disc in when I'm done playing, Sonic or whatever. Fuck them. So I don't know.
well, you're kind of
Uh,
nullifying the benefit of your console a little bit too, because when you have the games digital, you can switch between them in like 2 seconds.
yeah.
They load that fast. Whereas where you're switching the discs, like obviously that's gonna take some time for the console to read the disc and like get the game ready, and like then you launch it. It takes between you
Which is
getting up and putting it in and taking the other one out and putting them in the case. It's like you're talking like a 30 seconds to a minute, which I know again, it's not a big deal. It's just, but it is kind of it's starting to get annoying. It's like I don't know. So
which is funny because it's like we are like the biggest proponents of like physical games, but at the same time, like bro, we're gonna lose this war anyway. It's not like I'm
we've
giving up
lost
or
the
anything.
war.
We already
eighty
lost the war.
percent of PlayStation game sales are on PSN now, are digital. The war is over, guys. We lost. That's why I'm thinking. You can't beat them, join them. Fuck it, man. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
have physical games next generation. So what am I holding on to, dude? They don't even fucking have the game on the disc anymore. You like have to download the whole game anyway. So fuck it.
yeah.
Like, why even
I
buy them?
with
Like,
with
I
modern,
don't
I
know.
didn't mention this last week, bro, but with Modern Warfare 2, holy, this is why I forgot I stopped playing Call of Duty games.
Oh, how big is it?
Oh my, bro, I think it's like I had to download the game on a disc, right? And I
Yeah,
think that was just a fucking multiplayer.
yeah,
And then you know me, I like the fucking single player or whatever. So I
yeah.
think the multiplayer itself was like 100 gigs or some shit like that.
Wow.
I don't fucking remember. But then I was like, okay, cool. So it was a big download. So I was like, whatever. It took me like, because I have a gig of internet, so it took me like maybe 20 minutes to download it or some shit like that, which is a
Dude,
long
that's
time for me.
nuts though. That's a
Yeah,
fucking huge game. Dude, that would have taken me all night. I'm on 150 megabit. Holy shit. Like,
yeah.
dude, on
So
a gig, you get 125 like megs a second, bro. Like,
yeah, yep. And I it downloaded in like maybe 20 minutes.
dude,
So
that's probably 200 or 300 gigs.
Maybe I'm over exaggerating then. Maybe it was like 15 or 10 and 15
That's
minutes.
fucking
I
nuts.
know
No, I mean
I had to
Warzone's
wait.
like 500 gigabytes, dude. Like it's nuts. Like it's insane.
So I thought it was downloading the full game, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I went to click on campaign. It was like, oh, you gotta download 30 gigabytes. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck you mean I gotta download 30 gigabytes? And it wasn't like a true 30 gigabytes. It was additional shit because it took me like 11 minutes to download that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? So I do that. And then it was like, oh, there's an update that just came through. And I'm like, bro, I'm not playing this game tonight. I'm just not gonna play it tonight. But I'm over exaggerating, y'all. It took me like an hour to download everything. But that's just
With a
like
gig of
that was on a
internet though,
Friday.
that's
It was
fucking
like a
nuts.
gig, and I was like, bro, like, what are y'all doing? Like, I don't know. It was
They
just a
have no
weird
respect,
thing.
dude. Activision with Call of Duty has had no respect. I mean, actually, in general, they've had no respect for their players, like with that shit. Because like Spyro, remember the Spyro remaster they did?
Yeah,
That didn't have one of the games on the disc. You had to download the entirety of one of the games, like even if you bought a physical.
really?
Yeah. So what's even the point of the disc?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And in that moment, that's where I realized I'm like, what's the point of this disc, man? Like, I'm not even gonna fucking, do this shit anymore. So I just left it alone at that point. I didn't really give a fuck anymore. I just stopped. So
Yeah. Man,
uh
we've
this
lost. We've lost, man. We
yeah, I mean, we have because I really don't at this point I really don't I will buy something if I know it's gonna be like a really niche thing and they may take it off the market like in like a year or something like that, like I will buy it. That's why I bought
Mhm.
Valkyrie physical. But then once I played it, I was like, this shit's ass. And I returned it before like the price dropped or whatever. And
Yeah.
they still releasing DLC for that shit. I'm so irritated with that game. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, like I don't know. I feel like we lost the war on digital. Only thing I will continue to buy physical is Nintendo games
Nintendo. Yep.
because yep, that's the only
100%.
thing. Yeah, because they don't lose their value like at all.
Also, they
it's,
don't make
it's
you down.
actually
They don't
the same.
make you download the whole game, bro. It's on the fucking cartridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you buy a
So
physical Nintendo game, it's on the fucking card that you get. Like
yeah, and if you want to do an update, you can actually skip the update and still just play the fucking game. Like it's crazy.
right. I know. I love that Nintendo does that. You don't even need to update the fucking game. Yeah. Like so yeah. No, I think you're right. Nintendo's the one exception, but yeah, with PlayStation, dude, physical like lose their value so fucking fast anyways on PlayStation and Xbox. Like you're not getting a ton of resale most of the time, unless you're
Yeah,
very fast with it,
I
where you're
I
turning
will
around
say
within a
my
week or
biggest
two.
gripe with PlayStation, bro, God of War was fucking $70, and I was really upset about that shit. Like I was really upset about that. I was.
Why?
This
Because it's
is
on PS4. Is it on
it's
PS4 at
it's
60?
it's 70.
On PS4.
I don't think so, bro. I think it's on the PS5. When I went on the market on the PS5, it was $70 flat.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I mean that's what they're charging for their PS5 games now.
Is it PS on the PS4? Is it $60? I'm
Hold
about to look
on.
that up because if that is, bro,
It
people are
is
getting
actually on the PlayStation Store right now. It says PS4, PS5 Standard Edition, $69.99. What is it on Amazon? Let me go to Amazon real quick.
it's $60 on Amazon. At Best Buy and GameStop is $60. The PS4 version is.
Okay. Yeah, which it better be.
And
But
I think you
yeah,
would have to
no.
buy
I mean
it.
the $70 thing. I mean they're doing that. I mean with their PS5
I'm very
games.
interested though. If you buy the PS4 version, do you get the PS5 version for free?
No, you don't. They said they're not doing that anymore. You'd have to pay for the $10 upgrade. Yeah, unless you bought it on
Okay,
PSN, I think.
that's insane. But to each their
No,
own,
I mean
man.
we've been talking about this with Sony, dude. They're greedy. They're eating the edges of value with everything they do. That's what they've been doing, man. And why would that stop? Why would that change now? Like, you know. So, um, doesn't really surprise me at all. Well, another thing I'm noticing actually with their games, specifically the first party stuff, like I don't know what's going on lately, but I'm noticing that they're not like reducing in price. Really. Um, Like, are they trying to do a Nintendo thing with this, where they want their games to retain
I
their
think their
value?
whole strategy is Nintendo, bro. Like
Yeah,
I think that's what Sony's been on. I think they've been chasing Nintendo for the longest.
yeah,
Even when like they're ahead, they're still chasing Nintendo. In my opinion, it's
yeah,
actually insane.
yeah.
So
All right, all right, Montreal. We've been
yeah, we've been
sidetracking a lot in
talking.
this episode,
Yeah,
so let's get into the news. We don't have a
we
lot
don't
of
really have that
stories,
much.
but
Yeah, we don't have that much news anyway.
yeah, let's get into it. So let's start with Call of Duty. Activision has announced that, well, I don't think it was Activision, but Business Wire reported that it crossed Modern Warfare 2 crossed 1 billion in worldwide sales in its first 10 days after launch. And this is a franchise best. Which the previous record was held by Black Ops 2 in 2012, which took 15 days to reach 1 billion. So, I mean, this is nuts, man. The death of Call of Duty is not happening anytime soon. I mean, this is the franchise best, like literally the best they've ever done. So, I mean, you played Modern Warfare 2. You said you liked it a lot. So it seems like they did a really good job with this year's release. But
Yeah, no,
um,
this one
yeah,
they put a lot of effort in. I don't feel like this one is like a carbon copy of like Vanguard or anything like that. I think this one set the standard for like the newer Call of Duties, in my opinion.
hmm
So yeah, I mean, if you like Call of Duty or if you're on the fence about it, take it from me. I'm not a long time Call of Duty. I am a long time Call of Duty fan, but I have not bought every game. The last Call of Duty I bought was Modern Warfare, the 2019 version, and then before that, I haven't
yeah,
touched Call of Duty in like years. Because I
yeah,
think I stopped playing it when the Advanced Warfare series came out, and that was like maybe 2013, 2014.
yeah.
So yeah, I stopped playing them, and I haven't even before Advanced War. I stopped playing them before then. So I was buying them like maybe every 4 years. So uh, I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan, like I said, but this one is definitely worth your time. Even if you want to buy it used, you want to wait and get it used. I would say wait and get it used if you just for a campaign. Uh, and the multiplayer is pretty decent as well. They put in a lot of stuff to kind of prevent sweatness. Like the movement system is kind of it's still fast but
Oh
gimped
yeah,
to where
interesting.
to where you can't be sweaty. Like it's kind of weird how they got it. So I don't know. I think they did a good job because they know they're losing their casual base to like these like fucking sweats. Like sweats are ruining the fucking gaming
Yeah,
industry.
they are, dude. I mean, they fucking are, man. Like Apex is like, dude, people. Whatever. We don't need to get back into that, but
Yeah, we already get to that. But yeah, yeah.
I think this this sales marker though kind of proves Sony's point a little bit of their fear of this game going exclusive. I think it proves their point in the sense that it has that kind of power and impact. However, you know, Microsoft has been very clear that they do not plan on taking Call of Duty off of PlayStation. Um, so yeah, but I mean, it's crazy. COD is it's as powerful as it's ever been. I guess it's like it's always weird. It's always weird to think about to me is like how long does COD have? As like a powerful, important, popular franchise in video games. And dude, it's like you feel like it's waning. There's been plenty of years in the last like 5, 6, 7 years where COD is just like bleh, like nobody cares.
Hmm.
It still sells a lot, but it's like there's down years that have happened more frequently, and it's like here we are. I mean, they got it again though. It's like so I don't know. I don't. It's just doesn't feel like COD's going anywhere anytime soon. So, but all right, Montreal, let's move on to our next story. Another sales milestone. This time for Nintendo and Monolith Soft. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the fastest selling entry in the franchise. They have Nintendo was reporting this in their Q2 financial results. Um, they said that it has surpassed 1.72 million copies sold, which is already outstripped Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, the remake of the first game that came out in 2020, which is currently at 1.68 million units sold. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has more copies sold. Last reported was 2 million, but that was a while ago. So probably somewhere between 2 and 3 million copies sold. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will more than likely surpass that at this point. So Xenoblade Chronicles continuing its upward ascent. I don't think Montrell. I mean, I don't think this franchise is really going anywhere. At this point, obviously, the end of the third game was not a definitive endpoint for anything. So, um, do you anticipate we will continue to get these games going forward?
Yeah, I think they're gonna their next one's probably gonna be a remaster, and I'm hoping it's a remaster of because they even talked about it. I
X,
think of
X.
X. Yeah, I think they said they finally at the place where they can remake X or remaster it.
Yeah,
Because I remember at one point they were saying no, but then uh, I can't pronounce their name, Famitsu, article
Famitsu.
came out
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, the article came out about it and said that they're actually considering it and stuff
Oh,
like that. So
okay.
uh, and I think it was one of two things. I think it was the the touch screen aspect of it, and I think it was the online component of it. But I think they probably
Dude,
finally figured it out, like how
bro,
they
just
can,
give it to me. Just give it to me, dude. Just give it to me.
yeah, exactly.
I am so desperate to have X off of the Wii U and to be able to play it on another platform. I want to play that game again. Like that game is so fucking good. So, these sales results though, I mean, this is awesome. This is great. I'm glad I know we were kind of down on 3, or at least I was a little down on 3 relative to, 1 and X specifically. But
hmm
I still think it's a great franchise, and I don't want to see it go anywhere. I definitely want to see them continue to work on it, because I do think they're trying to do something with storytelling that no one else in the industry is really trying to do, maybe outside of like Final Fantasy 14, where they are telling stories more in the long game. It's not they want to give their story room to breathe. They're not trying to just like slam you with like action set piece after action fucking set piece. And I think I really enjoy their method of storytelling. I think it's one of those things. It's definitely an acquired taste. It's not something I think a lot of people are going to love right out of the gate, because there are a lot of quiet moments in these games. But I think they're better for them generally. They allow us to get to know these characters in a way that most games don't let you, with their
Yeah,
storylines. So, um, so I appreciate that, and obviously the gameplay is fairly unique within the JRPG space, and I appreciate that. So, looking forward to more of these games. I mean, Montreal, with the next entry though, let's put an X remake aside or remaster aside for a second. Like, what do you think they're going to go for next? Do you think they're going to do Xenoblade Chronicles 4, or do you think they're going to do maybe another X game, or something entirely different, like maybe another side
they may
game?
do something entirely different, or they may just do an X game. Like, I think their whole thing is they're probably going to remake another game, and I think it's going to be X, and then they're going to do an actual 4, or like break off and do like a split series or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm not
right.
too
Yeah,
sure
I
yet.
think if they yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, given what happens at the end of 3, yeah, there's definitely room for different paths for them to take with the narrative of the series going forward. So, um that will be interesting to see, but I think we both said it before, I would love to see an MMO.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what they
now's the
really.
time.
Yeah, that's what they really should do. I think what I think they're really going to do. I think they're going to try to make like a mobile version of it and make it that an MMO. I can see that happening.
Mhm.
I don't prefer that, but I think they can actually do it with this series, and
Yeah.
then they may actually make an MMO for the Wii U, or a launch title, Xenoblade game for the Wii U, the next Wii, not Wii U, but the Switch, or make a launch title for the next Switch or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd
Well,
be very interesting to see.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the next Switch. I mean, dude, we haven't talked about that in a while. That's like probably not as far away as we would think, right?
Yeah,
I
I,
could see
I,
it. I could see it late next year or early 2024, right?
mm, yeah, 2024 definitely. Yeah, I can't see them continuing on with the Switch much longer.
I mean, dude, it will have been 7 years by early 2024, like that's a long time for a piece of hardware like the Switch. So, yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually kind of exciting. That'd be kind of cool. See a new
sorry, y'all.
Switch,
That's my
Switch
cat.
2. But all right, Montrell, let's move on. We got one more story to talk about, and this is a rumor, but it's definitely an interesting one. So Diablo 4, there's been a lot of news about this game. Blizzard's been talking about this game a lot, but in terms of game systems and whatnot, but we have not heard um, anything about release date or release timing or anything like that. But there was a podcast this week. So the Xbox Era podcast, reported on their show that they are hearing whispers that this game will be released in April 2023, and pre-orders are going to open in December at the Game Awards. They're going to be announced at the Game Awards and open shortly after. And then Windows Central, which is a news website for Microsoft stuff, generally speaking, but they corroborated this with their own sources. So I feel like it's enough for us to talk about here. Montreal, do you believe this reporting? Do you think this is a realistic time frame for this game to launch? I mean, that's not that far from now. It's 6 months from now. So
Yeah, and they've been working on this game for years, like
yeah,
literally years.
yeah.
So I think that's a realistic time frame, to be honest with you.
I actually agree with you. I think there's actually I think a lot of people are skeptical that they're going to hit this, but dude, they have shown us a lot about Diablo 4, like a lot of shit. Every class has had a detailed breakdown video. There's been tons of gameplay showcases at this point. Like I and actually more recently, there's something that just happened. The closed beta that had been going on just ended. So I wouldn't be surprised by this timing. I do think there's obviously a good chance if this is the timing they're trying to hit that there may be a delay of some sort, that delays it a little bit later into the year. But yeah, I've been very confident lately that I think it's coming in 2023, this game. So I don't think this is crazy, but we shall see. So what's your heat check on this game? How excited for you are you? Are you excited for it?
I'm not excited for like a solo play, but from like a friend perspective, I think it's going to be really cool for us to play this game. And I am excited from in that aspect because yeah, I am like super excited for it to play it like that.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
that makes any sense.
I tried to get you into Grim Dawn and that didn't work. So I think this is going to be our chance to play an ARPG together. And I think our whole friend group is going to be into this game like crazy. So I am excited for it on that perspective. Also, they actually have classes that I'm finally fucking actually interested in for once. Like, dude, Diablo 3 was like, I fucking hated the class setup in that game. Like, I just really was so disappointed with the classes they chose. Like, the only option for me was like the Demon Hunter, and that's like a fucking just like a ranged only class, and I was like not super into that. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun character, but I wanted more of like a traditional agility character, that could like fight up close but also play ranged, and that's what they're going with the rogue in this game. So I'm fucking like, I'm stoked to play that shit. But looking at this game though, dude, it looks like it has the complexity that we are, or at least I'm looking for, and I think a lot of people that have got like really enjoy ARPGs are looking for, like Blizzard. I think it's finally at least figured that out. I think it's obvious with the success of Grim Dawn and like PoE that players of this genre, like they want complicated game RPG systems. They don't just want like flashy action and big numbers. They want to be able to build a character and build your gear loadout and make it, you're the reason you're making something that's effective. I think that's what people want. So in this genre,
Hmm.
so definitely looking forward to it. All right, Macho, that's all we got, man. There's no other news this week to really talk about. So is there anything else you want to discuss before we go today?
Nope, that's it.
Alrighty then. So guys, if you like the episode, please like the episode, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share with your friends. If you'd like to interact with either of us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at the Players Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to playerstake01@gmail.com. And that is going to be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you